I'm Eric.
And I'm Jim.
We're SuicideFantasyFootball.com talking about the running backs that you should be looking at if you've got a roster spot and need to pick someone up. Jim, I'm going to let you talk about it.
Come on, you know my main man.
You've been on him since the preseason.
Since, not even the preseason,
Dude,
since the day they signed him.
You would man-crush that little dude.
I would definitely man-crush that little guy. Darren Sproles, Kansas State's finest. I knew he was going to be a better option than Reggie Bush. He was going to show you how you really use a scat back in that offense. Catching the ball, running it. I can't believe that I'm saying the third running back on any team is an option in fantasy football, but he really is, especially if you're in a PPR league. He's definitely somebody you should have on your roster.
I'm staying on the same team, even though he's not on the list, Jim. Pierre Thomas didn't get drafted in a lot of leagues, and I think Pierre Thomas is still going to end up being the leading rusher on the Saints by the end of the year.
We're gonna get to the other guy later on down the line, but I'm not a big Ingram guy. I don't think so at all. I think Pierre Thomas is underrated, and I think Darren Sproles is underrated. I would be picking up both of them.
I agree with that.
Have the shot.
All right, also, Cadillac. Steven Jackson looks like he's not playing week 2 against the Giants. Cadillac is going against a defense that my boy Tim Hightower looked pretty damn good against. So if you've got room, throw Cadillac in.
Yeah, he looked good. There's no saying that he's going to look like he did 4 or 5 years ago.
No.
But the Eagles aren't great, but he looked, I mean, it wasn't like, he was running guys over. He was hitting holes. He was pretty flashy. It wasn't like, they were falling down around him.
Easy to hit holes with that linebacking core,
correct,
although I'm an Eagles fan. But
next up, Ben Tate. And he might have got handcuffed on there. There was talk about Derek Ward. But listen, he's a legitimate top 10 running back if Arian Foster's not in the game. If Arian Foster doesn't play, Ben Tate's going to run through holes.
Whoa, on the top 10. He's a legitimate starter in some leagues. Top 10. It was the Colts, Jim.
Now, listen, any running back on the Texans with those weapons out there, Schaub, Johnson, Owen Daniels, Kevin Walker, any running back is going to get holes. It's like the Edgerrin James theory back in the day with the Colts. Just from him being there, he's going to run 5 yards on the Bolts. You can't defend everybody.
I agree with that, but don't compare Ben Tate to Edge.
Listen.
He's definitely a guy who I'm saying I'm with Jim. Pick him up. He might be a guy who's in your starting lineup every week come the end of the season.
If Arian Foster doesn't play this year, Ben Tate winds up in top 10 in points for fantasy football.
We'll see. We'll look back later. All right, next guy, James Starks. I love him if you've got room on your bench and want to have someone for week 13 through week 17. If you're looking for someone down playoff time that might save you, playoffs. He was available in about 30% of the leagues that I looked at, so he might be picked up in your league.
Yeah, but he's somebody. And if you're in a deep league, there's a lot of guys that you have 5, 6, 7 running backs. Ernest Graham was getting the ball.
If you're in a deep league that's PPR, because Ernest Graham is catching a lot out of the backfield.
He was also getting some goal line runs. I saw him down at the goal line. He was getting goal line runs. So he's not a guy you're going to love. But if you can have a stacked bench, there's a lot of teams or a lot of leagues that you pick 5 guys.
A couple of guys in flex.
He's somebody that you would look at for an expanding. Take a flyer on or pick him up and see if he becomes the number 1 running back down there. If LeGarrette Blount continues to struggle, he could be somebody who puts up decent contributing points. Tell us what you think. Suicide Fantasy Football on Facebook, SFFcom on Twitter, and then check out our radio show, Blog Talk, Wednesday night, 7:30 to 8:30. Fantasy football overload. Suicide Fantasy Football. Still sign up. Try a free league.